Hello and welcome to a day in the life of an Uber rideshare driver in San Francisco. You join me as I start a weekday afternoon shift during the holiday season in Fillmore District, San Francisco. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. The first ride of the day takes us from Fillmore and Post Street to Broadway and Scott. We will take Fillmore up to Pine, make a left, and then make a right at Scott. Short ride, easy ride. We stayed in the Pacific Heights and Cow Hollow area after dropping off the rider. It wasn't long until we got a ride from Scott and Baker Street to Haight and Ashbury District. We went over the hills of Pacific Heights on Divisadero Street, made a right onto Pine, and then followed Masonic all the way down to Haight and Ashbury. After drop-off, we picked up our next rider one block over on Haight and Clayton, headed to Union and Stockton in Little Italy in the North Beach area. We will retrace our steps to Masonic and then take Bush to Franklin to Broadway, go through the tunnel and end up near Washington Park. We traverse through some of the one-way streets in the area before we head to our next pickup. We pick up our rider at the corner of Columbus Avenue and Vallejo Street. We'll take them to Exploratorium via Green Street, Montgomery, and Broadway. There are quite a lot of tourists around the Embarcadero area closer to Fisherman's Wharf. So we go left on Green Street off of the Embarcadero after dropping off our rider. We picked up our rider at the corner of Battery and Greenwood Street, headed down to Bayside Village. We'll take Battery Street, make a left on Clay, right on Davis, which turns into Beale Street, and take that all the way down to Bayside Village. We pick up our next rider at SF MoMA, headed to Valencia and 15th Street. We'll just take Mission Street all the way down to 15th and then make a right. After dropping off our rider, we cruise over to the Hayes Valley area to see if we get any luck. If we don't get any pings right away, we'll just find a place to park and sit for a while. It wasn't too long of a wait until we got our next ride, at the corner of Hayes and Steiner Street at Alamo Square Park, near the famous Painted Ladies. We'll be taking our rider to Folsom and 20th Street, via the last part of the wiggle before crossing Market Street onto 14th Street, and then Folsom Street. We stayed in the Mission District after drop-off and got our next ping at the corner of York and 20th Street. We'll be taking the rider back the way we came to the corner of Sanchez and 16th Street. We cross Market Street after dropping off the rider and come around the block to Church and Market, where we pick up our next rider headed to Fremont and Harrison Street in Soman District. We will make our way to 14th Street, make a left on Folsom, take it all the way down to Fremont, and make a right and stop right before Harrison Street. We pick up our next rider just around the block from where we dropped off. We'll be taking them to China Basin and 4th Street in Mission Bay. We'll make our way to Embarcadero, make a left on 4th Street, and get to our destination. After we dropped off our rider, we proceeded onto Mission Bay Boulevard around the Spark Social SF area before we loop back around to the exact place where we dropped off our last rider to pick up our next ride. Our next ride takes us from China Basin and 4th Street to San Carlos Airport. San Carlos Airport is a general aviation airport approximately 10 miles south of San Francisco International Airport. This is a relatively long ride by San Francisco standard, but I happen to have to make my way down south to meet up with a friend later, so this ride works out well. We simply got on the freeway, I-280, and then make our way to US 101 and take it to San Carlos Airport, which is just off the freeway. If you like this type of content, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. I hope to make more of these types of videos in the future, and your support is much appreciated. It is now past 5 p.m. in the winter time, and the sky has fully darkened. We'll get back on the freeway and head south to Mountain View, where I'll park and have dinner with a friend before we continue later on. After dinner, it's time to head back into the city for one last ride and go home. Even though I was online the entire way back, it won't be until I get to Daly City that I got my first ping. We pick up our rider at Midvale Drive in Daly City, headed to Hyatt Regency San Francisco, near the end of Market Street around the Ferry Building area. We'll find our way back to I-280, then get on 101, which turns into Interstate 80, get off at 4th Street, continue on Bryant Street, and then make a left onto Main Street, which will take us all the way to Hyatt Regency. And with that, that concludes our day. It's time to head home and get a good night of sleep. Thank you for watching and hope you have a good rest of your day.